Warning! Due to the incredibly short running time of the motion picture in question, this review contains major spoilers, as I cannot possibly talk about the movie for long enough without basically giving the entire plot away. By the way, do you like my jacket? I like my jacket. It makes me feel all official-like I'm in the military, fighting a war! Coincidentally, I just finished another year of university, making this the first review of the summer. Get it? Summer? War? Yeah, I thought it was a pretty shit joke too. On we go! So now I'm going to be continuing on the assumption that if you're watching the review past this point, you have either seen Summer Wars before or are in a position where you don't really care one way or another if you get spoiled. By the way, if you're in the camp of people that view reviews to get a feel if you should watch an anime show or not, let me save you the trouble. Watch Summer Wars! So there you go. So now here's what I liked and did not like about this particular anime film. The obvious nitpick that you can make about the film is the setting, the world of Oz. Now, I'm specifically not going to go into the direct connections between Summer Wars and the Wizard of Oz, as prevalent as they may be, because if I tried, I would be here all day. But just Oz in general is a very poor representation of what we refer to as the internet. The problem with a system like Oz is that it would never, ever exist in real life. We will never have one singular system that controls everything in the world the way Oz does. Nations and corporations have way too much pride and greed for such a thing to exist. But aside from that, according to the film, Oz is a complete system where you can basically do anything you want to digitally. Go shopping, go to school, run a company, all online through the power of Oz. It's basically more of a utopian version of the internet rather than the internet as we actually know it today. Thankfully though, Oz is connected to a much more realistic version of Earth. It's so realistic, in fact, that Summer Wars' version of real life is one of the best parts in the film, not only for entertainment, but also as a wonderful place to let our main characters develop over a short period of time. Let's start off with Kenji, who oddly enough is given the most screen time and therefore must be our main protagonist. His looks place him as a gender-swapped version of Makoto, the main protagonist of The Girl Who Left Through Time, and his abilities include being a nervous teenager, having a crush on our main female lead, and he can break near-impossible computer encryption codes, all in his mind. He's like a Zen master of mathematics. It's brilliant. The next main character in the pecking order is Kazuma, who is a master of both martial arts and the ability to apply them in the digital world, making him a champion fighter in the digital arena. He earns his awesome points for only screwing up because his family keeps interrupting him, otherwise he's able to take down a fully programmed AI without breaking too much of a sweat, even when it digivolves into a badass representation of Skynet. Lastly, there's Natsuki, and as the promotional artwork and one particular climax in the film would have you to believe, she is a very important character. And I say that in massive sarcasm quotes. In a lot of ways, her only real purpose is to give Kenji the excuse to meet and interact with her family, Kazuma specifically, but beyond that, her role is either sidelined or covered by another member of the family, thus making her seem very redundant at times. Her only time to shine was near the end, where she breaks out of this funk of a depression she's in, and kicks the aforementioned AI's ass in a game of Koi Koi. But even that could have been taken care of by another character. And this was confusing for me because when I look at the DVD case, Natsuki's Oz avatar is displayed front and center. Take off the slipcover, and Natsuki herself is standing quite a ways ahead of everyone else. So, naturally, when I put the movie in my DVD player, I assumed that she would be the main character. But then she spends the majority of the movie in the background, a supporting character, only to come out of the woodwork near the end and steal all of the glory. So, my problem with the movie now is this. Differentiate between your main and supporting characters and treat them accordingly. Please and thank you. Whatever misgivings I have against Natsuki as a character is immediately forgotten, however, when you meet her grandmother, because Natsuki's grandmother should seriously go somewhere on the most badass old ladies in anime list, if there even is such a list. She takes the whole descendant of ancient samurai thing very seriously, and is one of the few adults that see early on just how big the problem is. What makes it worse is that she unfortunately died, and because she was such a great character, her death has so much more meaning than it otherwise could not have had, and I really like her contribution to the plot as a whole. Now, the plot relation that I've been tiptoeing around for the past several minutes is how similar Summer Wars is to Digimon R Wargame. And I don't just mean similar as in like, oh, they both have digital worlds and kids and stuff. No, I mean that Summer Wars is basically R Wargame with the Digimon removed and a whole bunch of family drama thrown in, right down to the evil AI tossing a bomb at our main characters with a ticking countdown until it finally kills them. Now, you could say that since the director of both of these films are one and the same person, that it is not technically a ripoff. To which I would reply that ripoff is a very strong word. Uninspired is what I would go for. This does not mean that the plot of Summer Wars is bad. I've said before that if you're going to copy something, you might as well copy something good. But it's just a matter of I've seen this before. There's nothing new in it for me. Sure, all the real-life scenes with Natsuki's family is new, and that doesn't relate to the Digimon movie at all, but even with that, the problem there is that there are way too many characters to keep track of for a movie that's only like just under 2 hours long. Most of the family members don't get very much screen time, and the amount that they do is just enough to maybe get out one quick character quirk, and it makes them all seem very one-dimensional. Now, with the animation, there's not much to say besides just generally singing its praises. Like the last movie by the same director, Summer Wars was animated by Studio Madhouse, who has proven time and time again that if they want something to look good, they do it, and they do it very well. There is a stark contrast between the regular animation of the real world and the very Murakami-esque cartoonish nature of the world of Oz. And this contrast really helps to distinguish the two. It's not an all-around necessary feature of the animation to have, but it looks good and it doesn't diminish from either the plot or the story, which is key. Now with the dub, if I was talking about a feature film that was dubbed by a major studio such as the Ghibli movies tend to be, I would probably go on about the differences between a traditional anime show dub and that of an anime feature film. Not so with Funimation, as they seem to pay just as much attention to their anime feature films as they do with every other dub that they produce. Thankfully, this attention is very well placed, and as it is with basically every other dub that I've seen them do, it is very good. The casting was done fairly well, with Funimation regulars such as Brina Palencia, J. Michael Tatum, and Maxie Whitehead taking up the lead roles. Special mention goes out to Pam Dougherty, who played the aforementioned elderly grandmother. One of the reasons I feel like this character was just so well fleshed out was just how Pam had this very matronly voice, and it just really sold the character to me. The voice of Kenji also gets special mention, Kenji being voiced by Michael Sturle... I can't pronounce your name, but you are awesome. He's a voice actor that I haven't seen very much, didn't recognize by name, but still did a very good job at the traditional nerdy high school kid, and it was brilliant. I loved it. On the whole, as an entertaining experience, Summer Wars does a lot of things right. It's got a plot that could be considered very relevant to the interests of the tech-savvy public, characters that an audience can relate to, and is very, very pretty to boot. The major flaw I found, and the reason why I don't shout from the rooftops that this is the greatest anime movie ever, is that the film has a hard time of letting me know who is and who is not the main character. And if they just got that straight out of the gate, I would have been puzzled a lot less and enjoyed myself a lot more. But if you go into this movie with a much less analytical view as I tend to do, you should have no problem enjoying this film on your first watch, making it a very solid rent. Make sure you watch it, enjoy it, and if you want to buy it, go nuts. But that's as much leeway as I'm going to give it today. Maybe save your money and go buy the Digimon movie. Then do a compare and contrast on your own and see what you notice. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.